TradeDevils, happy Friday, happy holidays. Oh, hope everybody's enjoying a nice little holiday break. I'm getting this kind of late. Toying with the idea of being lazy and not doing one today and using the holidays as an excuse, but crypto never sleeps and markets are moving. So we'll look at 3 or 4 here. Probably won't be a long one, although every time I say that, I can never do one very promptly. Just it's a struggle for me. Okay, so let's get right to it here. Before we get there, you got to bear with me here, right? Just like anyone else who markets a product or a service or a membership, right? Everybody's got a sale going for the holidays, and we do as well. So this is our little holiday sale here, our Xmas Sale. This is going through New Year's. So we do some discounting. We continue to experiment here with these levels, trying to find the best combination where we feel like members are getting the maximum value for their investment. And we take a lot of feedback from members, so we think this is a nice combination here. If I'll let you dig in here. This would be, for those of you that are interested in the belts, this is kind of it's a little bit different than we've done it before. So we think for this monthly here, and of course you're gonna get a discount on this. With that monthly, you're going to get full access to the belt system. So that's probably the best value for the dollar. If belt system doesn't appeal to you, you've got the pro membership here. Again, 25% on that. If you just want to get into the Discord and get access to the team, the people, and I'll let you read through here. All that's going on through the end of the year. So there's my marketing. Okay, let's get back to Bitcoin here. Before we dig into all the count here, sometimes I just think it's a good idea to go to a blank chart and say, okay, we get a 7th grader in here. Tell me where you see 5s and 3s, right? Do you see a 5 going in up here? Okay, well, so the next question it would be, are we done? Well, certainly you could make an argument that we are. I mean, done in the sense that this impulse, right, and we start a retrace. Looks to me like there's a little bit more to go here. We're putting in a 4 here. And at this distance, of course, you can't see any of the subdivision, but sometimes this subdivision, right, it's paralysis of analysis. What's the most obvious thing you can see? Swing, retrace, swing, retrace, swing, retrace, right? It's all the market ever does. It's all it can do. We can go sideways for a long period of time, as we did here with the downward drift. So I think we're doing something similar here to end the year. Nothing to suggest that if we were to top here, let's say we get up here and we get to the 180, 200, right? The implication is not that we've topped. Let's use 160, right? The implication is we're gonna complete an impulse here, and then we're gonna start a retrace. A retrace would bring us, oh God darn it, something simple, right? Like this. Could we come down to the 30s? Well, certainly we could, technically, right? Now, of course, logs, but at some point there's going to be a significant retrace. That deep? It doesn't have to be. 50% put us back at 50, right? So, but of course, now if we're up at 150 here and we're starting at 15. This would be a logical spot, prior 3-4, come back, something like that. So just check in, right? I know. Everybody loves the bull porn, right? We're up at 1 million. But, okay, so at some point there will be a correction. I don't think we're there just yet, right? So bulls hodl would be my suggestion, right? What's the point here? Let's look for opportunities where we can add, right? Right now, it's a little squirrely. Okay, so let's, oh shit, where have I got it here? Hang on a sec. From that weekly, let's go down to a 4-hour. Now here I'm over on BloFin, right? So I'm probably mentioned this enough. That's our sponsor, right? So we always encourage people, anyone looking for a new exchange or an exchange or place to trade where they're going to treat you right. We think you'll have a good experience over there. We certainly have had a good experience. So most of wherever I can. Now, of course, they only hit TradingView when they hit here January of last year. So we don't have full history, but wherever I can, I'm going to use BloFin, which I've got right here. So you see all of this consolidation in the break. This was an awfully long consolidation. And then we have the, of course, Trump takes credit for it. But okay, right. So less regulation here, crypto-friendly admin. It certainly looks like something is going on up here. We're not breaking out impulsively. I know you could do this, right? It's tempting to do that, but I don't think we need to go there yet. I still think there's more to come here. This is, call it end of the year consolidation here. A little, what are we doing? We're, I mean, the Fed, right? I don't think we can quite say that Bitcoin has separated itself from other risk-on assets. That's a bit of a reach. So risk on. Well, look at today, right? What's the market doing? Market's getting hammered here on the Friday, going into the next week, which will be slow as well. It's still right. Some risk off. Going to pull Bitcoin down. Okay, so I do this because when we look at something like this, God, you can get lost in that. Now, particularly if you're not doing it, right? So I've done this, right? Changed it probably 15 times, right? So, but something like this, just when in doubt, keep it simple. Again, how would it? Show me the 5s and 3s, right? If you find a 7th grader, I use that consistently, right? Because they're not gonna get into a WXY sideways double. They're okay, 5s and 3s. Right? I can sure see a 5 here. Now this. Yeah, right. That's where 10 Elliotticians likely give you 10 different counts because it's almost uncountable. It's so irregular. What conclusion do you draw from it? Well, we're consolidating, right? So we've had expansion and now we consolidate, right? This long consolidation expansion, right? It's all the market ever does, ever will do. And it's not about the markets. That's the universe, right? Contraction comes expansion, right? Universal laws, right? So certainly where they're going to apply to the markets. I still like the 4 going in here. Okay, so let's go over. Oh, this is a cluster. Fuck, there's no doubt, right? It's very tricky count here, and all of this. At the end of the day, it does appear like whatever we're doing here, this is some sort of a flat. That's what it looks like, right? It would be very reasonable to assume that we're putting in a 4 here. So as I have, what am I on a 2 hour here? Let's dig in here a little bit more. I know you can't quite see all of that here, but the premise is that we completed the 3rd here relative to this 1, 2. So if I draw it just so I don't lose anybody, 1, 2, 1, 2, come here, 3, working on 4, looking to go up for that 5, right? Looking for this to take us much higher. So now there is some flexibility here. There's a very real possibility there's another 1, 2 in this, which would make it even more bullish. But then when you go over here, you're like, where is that coming in? Where is that? Right, maybe 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. So there's possibility for that to get more complex. But we'll go there when we need it. Right now we don't need it. I mean, you can almost see it, right? You could do it right here. You could put the 5 here, and then you'd have a 1 here, and then another 1, 2, right? So it's a high class problem. If we need it, right, that's where we're going to come back to get the extra 1, 2, right? Because that's going to imply another impulse to finish it, right? If this is not the 3rd, right, and the 3rd is up here, then we'll need another 1, 2, right? So that's good news. Let's not go there yet and be overly bullish, right? We'll get a high class problem if we need to get there. Right now, 1, 2, again, back to this. 1, 2, 3, looking for 4 over here somewhere right now. We don't want this to go too long, right? The length of time here matters. So we'd be looking for this early coming into the new year so we get out of here, right, and push. So because there's not an impulse up here, sure looks like, let me get real detailed here. A, B, C into a W. A, B, C into an X, this being the 3 here. Well, if that's the case, here's an A. It looks like we did this as a flat, A, B, C, right? We've damn near doubled here, right? So you can see what happened there. Liquidity, right? Right there just ticked it. Right, barely. There goes a wick, right? You can see, do you think they grabbed some stops up here? That's why you don't, 6 years I've tried to tell you not to do that. Somebody didn't listen. I don't know if it's anybody. I'd like to think, no, certainly none of our members would buy that. And any regular viewers, I'd like to think you wouldn't. Don't be that guy or girl or gal, whatever. That's just, you're just asking for it and you're buying right into, well, we had a little gap there. Oh, you could look at it this way, right? It's just all this is unmitigated order flow, right? So tap. Right, this is don't be that guy. Right? Again, 6 years of telling you, right? I'll continue to tell you. Okay, so as we come down here, again, it gets a little weird. What are we doing here, right? You could put the 3 here and do this as an A, B, C. It almost doesn't matter. Either way, you end up with the 2 here. Because if this is an A, B, we're looking for a C, we're looking for an impulse to complete. Well, it looks like something completed here. That's likely, right? Likely not to be the finish of it. So we've got a 1, 2, which implies we're looking, oh, where are you? We're looking for a 3, 4, 5 here, right? To finish this down here. See, God, I got squished there. For the Y, for the 4. Well, let's go back to a 1 here. A, B. Not very, I mean, that's impulsive. There's a 3 that corrects it into a B where we sweep liquidity and then we head lower. I mean, it's literally by the TA playbook into a fair value gap, right? Which we can't get through. And then, okay, here we come. We're looking for the C of the Y to give us the 4. Where's the highest probability location for a wave 4? Between the 23 and 38. Looks like that's where we're headed. Right, and we got more fair value gap. Now, if we pull back on this, we don't want this to get too much lower, right? Because we just have a massive air pocket, right? The push here, there's no structural support here. It's just air, right? So if we, what am I, BloFin here? So if I were to do this from the low, put on, right? I got nothing here, nothing, right? It's obviously, right? We went up so fast, there's no support. So we had a little pause here, barely. We don't want, if we get into this, we're likely that's bad news, right, for Bitcoin and alt. So we want to hope here that this consolidation here, if we come over to the edge of it here, that this is enough structure here to hold it, right, so that we don't drop into this because there's literally nothing to hold it, right? It will fall. So let's hope that we come down here. That's the anchored VWAP from the proposed 2 here, kind of a last stand here. If we're getting there, oh, it's going to get. Again, there's just nothing to hold it, right? So we want to hope that what's happening here is the market is finding acceptance up here, a new range of value, right? So markets, going to push the lower edge of it here. It's, Bitcoin's in the media, right? So, latecomers are saying, should I buy? Is it time to buy? Is it too high? Did I miss it? So you're going to have weak hands coming in, right? So, of course, whales know that, and they're going to do what they do, which is take their money. Sorry to be so harsh. They're going to take their Bitcoin, or their money. Right? That's what happens, right? Whales got to eat, and they eat retail. So there's a lot. Any weak hands here, anyone in with leverage is just getting chewed up here. Right? Why? I know it seems like, oh, what if I put 5x, 10x, 100x, 11 on that? Look how much I can make. Right? That's not what you want to be focused on. It's how much could I lose, right? And don't give up your coins, right? I never trade Bitcoin with leverage, right? Because I don't want to risk giving up my coins. Okay, so that's probably enough on Bitcoin here. How am I doing? Oh shit, I'm already 13 minutes in. That's kind of the range here. Oh, one more sweep down. You can see the low-hanging fruit. This liquidity here is all just sitting there waiting to be grabbed. So I wouldn't be surprised if we popped something like this. I do not want it to go below that, right? 84. Ooh, let's hope we get a good reaction out of that. Okay, so with that said, what else do I have? Let's look at a couple of quick alts, and then I'm going to finish up with the S&P. Okay, so hang on. Okay, 2 alts here that I think look promising, right? With regards to potential entry locations. This is Atom Cosmos here on a 2-hour. I'm using crypto here so I use crypto.com. They're an aggregator, so I get the full history, but I can't get volume, right? Because it's not actually an exchange. Now here, I'm out of log scale just to show you here, because this is a little bit of I do this very reluctantly, right? To do this very, very reluctantly, because we're connecting, right? Is this too far in time? So it's the length of time of the 2 to the 4. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Now that's okay, uncomfortable, right? Maybe that's the wrong way to describe it, but it makes me because I can do this, right? I could just as easily do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa. There's an impulse here, and that's reasonable. Now, I kind of go back and forth here. Like, this is all. What is it, right? It's consolidation, right? It's contraction. From contraction, what do we know? Comes from a contraction, right? It's again absolute law. From contraction comes expansion. Okay, so one thought is you just go, oh, fuck, all right, we're just chop, chop, chop. And then it finally shows, right? So you could almost bail off of this, right? Now, if we need the 1-2 because we're going higher here, okay, great. Again, high class problem. I don't know that it matters, right? Here's an impulse. Here's the correction. Where it would matter, here's I'm pulling from that, right? This is the start of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, right? Again, get your 7th grader. Where's the 5s? Where are the 3s, right? Keep it simple. This is, talk about not simple, all of this. Let's see the exact, could it be any less simple, right? What, whoa, where, right? And this is iffy. I got a completed impulse here. So I will go here only if the market forces me to. Now, I take it out of log scale because once you're in log, it's you might think, oh, 1, 2, right? What a perfect, if I could probably be a WXY. It pops it a little bit. So then it's tempting to think, oh, 1, 2, 3. Is that the 4? Well, we haven't overlapped the 1. Maybe. But see, I that's why I take it out of log scale. Does that look like a 4? I think not, right? So I wouldn't trade it that way. So whatever it is, here's a completed impulse. Here's the retrace. We go 707 to the tick, right? Out of log scale. So a good location. Now, all that said, let's go to 60. This thing wants log, right? We're kind of back in that. What are we doing here, right? We're just consolidating again. What do I have here, right? Squeeze, black is squeezed. RSI is got a little hot. Under what are they? Under 25 here. Squeeze, right? Consolidation, right? Contraction. The only thing we know with certainty is that eventually that will expand. Are we expanding up or are we expanding down? Well, then we're back to Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin will drive everything one way or the other, right? If Bitcoin starts to tank, well, alts are going to go with it. If Bitcoin starts to rally, maybe, right, some sort of 1-2 comes out of this. That's not something that I would enter the market with that setup. But why, right? I mean, I'm not worried about missing something. If something, well, shit, I've already got some of this. But if something starts to kick here, well, it better be impulsive. Is this 1 ABC? Maybe. I mean, I suppose you could nibble here, right? If you're just anxious to get into the market. I guess my broader point here, I'd get this on your watch list, right? So maybe an alert up here, right? We take that. That's going to get my attention. Oh, God damn it. Come here. If we pop up, now that doesn't mean buy it here. We just looked at this with Bitcoin. That doesn't mean buy it here. That means, oh, okay, pay attention, right? So if we come back to this and we do it as a 3, now, yes, right? Then it makes sense. I'm not saying don't buy it, right? I mean, for all I know, right, by Monday, it's, way up. There's no certainty. There's just probabilities, right? So why take a mediocre, what all you're doing here is that's just hopium. Well, fuck, I hope that goes. That's not the way to survive in the market. No need to do it. Don't trade just because you need a dopamine hit. All right, so one to watch though. All right, what else do I have over here is ORAI chain. Now, this is a little trickier to trade if you're in the States, but I know determined crypto traders will find a way to get access to an exchange that gives them ORAI chain. Certainly a solid project. Potential of this for a leading diag to be going in here. Right? Could this go higher? No, that's log scale. Take it out of log scale. Right? It looks more like this. Now we've got an expanding leading diag, right? Which is where you'd expect that. So that you got to be careful with log because it distorts it. Right? Now it looks like, oh, that's a contracting diag. No, take it out of log. Get perspective. 3 is longer than 1. Right? You got all the ingredients for this to finish as a very long leading diag to come off that low. That's a pretty good rip there, right? So you don't want to buy it just because it's cheap, right? It's of course, percentage return matters, but make sure you understand what they're doing and why you're buying it. There's the TA. Certainly, well, here it is again, right? The long consolidation, the contraction, right? Black is a squeeze, right? So that's a squeeze. From that consolidation, that contraction comes the expansion. You could say the same thing. Oops. Same thing over here, all of this, right? It's just how the market works, right? Contraction, expansion. Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. Well, we're coming back to contraction, I mean, you could put a stop under that low, and that you could probably, don't go crazy. 3x, 5x max. Okay. Oh, 20 minutes. Okay. Let's before I get off that, I'm going to go to the S&P. MicroStrategy is becoming, the danger here is that they're adding risk here that it could be problematic, right? They have so much of it, right? If any issues with them is going to be, it's going to affect Bitcoin. So oh shit, sorry guys, I didn't know that was coming. All right, so hopefully that wasn't too loud on your. Well, it looks like I got a 1-2 right now. That's not I got to be in log scale, right? I got to be in log scale, so you can see it's an expand, just like the asset we were just looking at. That's a leading diag 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? What are we going to call that? Given we know what's coming, right? It's not going to be the 3. So 1, 2, we get a good looking set of median lines, but we've gone so far, right? You have no choice but to look at this in log scale, right? So as we look at it here, 1, 2, already it's a little funky. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? Now we did not, right? Remember, we did not get the median line here. So a failure, if we start to roll over, a failure to make the median line sets up a move. You guys know the drill. Equal to or greater than the move that failed to get there. Greater than. So let's be mindful. Oops. Get out of there. Let's be mindful of that. But right as it sits right now, the fact that we didn't get there, well, doing a nice looking 4 here. I would keep an eye on MicroStrategy as real, because it will affect Bitcoin if it starts to run into some issues, right? I mean, this guy is there a bigger Bitcoin bull? Talk about putting money where your mouth is. Okay, so we want to see this hold here. This is potentially, right, we've got some unmitigated bullish order flow right here. If we come into this, okay, we don't want it getting down into any lower here. We want this to hold. So the 38 here, this anywhere in this little range here, options, right, might be something to consider, right, if you're comfortable trading options. Got a big fat target up here. Could we get over $1,000 in MicroStrategy? Well, if Bitcoin's going, MicroStrategy is going to go with it. You don't need this as much, but it can be an alternative way to play Bitcoin. I mean, most of you probably, don't need an alternative way. It's just something to consider, right? For those of you who like to trade options, this is a way you can do it. We do have a lot of options expiring in Bitcoin today, probably adding to some of the volatility. So you got to keep an eye on MicroStrategy now, right? We don't want to see them tanking. And before I finish here, did I get everybody? Oh, I think I did. Okay, so let's get over to the S&P now. I was warning about this, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, because of this is, how does, again, get your 7th grader, ask him what he sees here, right? I know. Now, I got a lot of comments, people telling me the internal count is wrong and blah, 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 right? So easy to be a critic, right? I always got armchair Elliottians telling me my counts are wrong, right? Well, I'm not here to tell you my count is right. I'm here to tell you that's a valid count. Now, you can disagree with it all you want, right? I'm not here to tell you what to do, but that's a valid count, right? So it's certainly possible that we put in a significant top here, right? As I've looked at this a few times, right? Where's COVID? Oh, I guess we got to go back. All right, we come. Let's get here. I got to do the full Monty here. Okay, right. So this is a member put this together on live stream, and I've kept it, right? Because it's just such good work. If we're going to have parity here, this from the 3 projected from the 4, and we're going to get up here. Well, now we're talking 7,500 plus for the S&P. Okay, how does that make sense? Well, again, here, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, did we finish here? Well, if we're going to go up here, we got to do it through an impulse, right? So this 3 here, I don't think that's in dispute, right? So the only question is, did we top here? If we didn't top here, and very, very few think we have, although as a result of how many people are bullish and saying we're going to the moon, it makes me, that many people on one side of the boat, right, often, capsize. If we're retracing here, then this has to be 3, 4, 5, right? And we're still going. So what we're doing is the extension from the 1, 2 with an extension in the 5th, right? So in a big rip roaring bull, that's very, very common, right? We have the big ripper in the 5th, right? So that extension to take us up here to 7,600, it's certainly, it's logical. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, here we go. I'd be if I had to pick one or the other right now. That's be my thought, is that we're just putting, we've completed a 1 here as a diag, coming down for the 2. We've got, let's see if I can get in here. We've got a big section here of unmitigated bullish order flow. It hasn't been touched, right? This downswing has not been touched. So you got a big chunk here of demand below the market. Again, standard ops, right? If this is a completed leading diag and we're looking for a retrace to the 50, between 50 and the golden zone, hello, right at a high volume node. Well, POC is a little bit lower, right above that 3. We're not concerned with an overlap, right? Because we're already committed to the idea the 3 is in, the 4 is in, and this is a potential 1, 2, right, for the extension to take us higher. Okay, well, again, let's just apply some basic Elliott. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think there's any Elliottian, right, who knows anything about wave counting, is going to call that anything other than an impulse, right? You're not. It is because it is an impulse. Now you could bicker about where's the 2. Oh shit! Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. So it's an ABC, right? No matter where you put the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. 3 into the B. It's well. So this is what some people would want to say ABC. Oh, it's the lows in. Okay, here we go. Well, we're not doing it with an impulse. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're going to overlap. Maybe. Looks much more to me like we're right on track to do an A, B, C. I mean, that's a deep B, but it's, I mean, what would we do? 8, 8. We blew, well, it looks like 7, 8, 6. Where's platinum? Platinum, right? 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 4, 7, 8, 6, right in the pocket, right into this little consolidation, high volume, right? We come, oh. Sure looks like 1. If this is the B, what are we looking for? Right, we're looking for 5 down. We're looking for an impulse to complete the C. Well, sure looks like we got a good start on it, so let's get that labeled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a bit large on the degree, but let's get something nice and bright here. We'll do the yellow. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's do the yellow. There we go. Okay, so the B is in. Now we're going to do 1, 2, 2. Could be we've already done it. Where are we? If that's the high, come back here. Where's, all right, not going to make that, right? So, just measured, right? So, fuck me. Sorry, guys. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so we make a 38. Not like it doesn't happen, right? Big fat fair value gap, right? Sitting there. It's a little struggle here. This could go higher. We could have, this could be A, B, C coming in for that, right? If we pop next week, now market can be moved around, right? We have lower volume, which of course I know all of you know. So we have potential on ABC. We get a more typical wave 2 here. Bring this back down. Oh, fuck me, come here. Get that right there. Okay, so potentially, right? So careful if we go into next week and if you get a spike here, careful, right? What you're assuming that we're done here. Then it really doesn't make sense, right? You can see the C here, right? Pretty good ABC, right? A, B, 5 in the C to give us that B. If I take that up a degree or 2, right? You get the idea. 1, 2. That could be the 2, right? Okay, so just don't, just think. That's what I'm trying to say. Think. Don't just long because you turn on Bloomberg and everybody's bullish. Careful, right? Apply the skill set you're developing here. right? Why would you think anything else other than ABC here? Why would you think that? Right? There's an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. Why are you thinking anything else? Right? We don't want to predict. We want to look at what the market has done and say what's most probable given where we are. Right? That's all we get, probabilities. There's no certainty, no guarantees, no, well, it must do this. But we can get with Elliott Wave, if not this, then that. And if not that, then this. Well, ABC looks like that's pretty solid here. So if that's not an ABC, well, one, I'll be surprised, but okay, right? So if it's not an ABC and we do this, and just think it through. If we do this, well, then what have we got? Then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diag, and the low would be in. And this, right? Again, I'm not married to the count, right? It's again, I'm never here to say, oh, this is the count and it must do that, or my count is right and your count is wrong. It's not what I'm doing. I'm here just applying our methodology. It's every video I've ever done. That's all I'm doing. It's not about me. It's about applying a methodology that we teach. I'm never on here flexing. It's not about me. For 6 years, I've tried to make this about everything but me. I don't make it about me. I make it about the methodology, right? So if you want to learn the methodology, I got a good place for you to do it. Okay, I think that covers here. I got everybody. ETH is just a clusterfuck. I'm not even going to go there. Of everything on the board, right? The best looking, certainly from an Elliott count, is fuck. I don't even know what to call them anymore. SUI, SUI, SUI. Fuck. What do I call them? SUI, whatever they are. That's a great looking project, and what a beautiful looking impulse, right? So, but now that's frustrating because now you got to wait for that retrace. Perfect impulse. Come on down, right? So why would it be coming down? Well, the Bitcoin's coming down. If the S&P is coming down, I'm not saying that with the top is in. I'm saying I want to buy it down here. So come on down, which nobody likes. So like, oh fuck, everything's coming down. Oh my God, right? But that's when you buy it, right? When it's going down, not when it's going up, right? It's the hardest thing for people to learn. Okay, guys, I'll wrap it there. That's 30 minutes. That's not too bad for me. Okay, hope you got a few little nuggets there, some ideas and a few things to start the new year. Let's see, I'll be back. I don't know if we're going to do a live stream. We'll see about next Wednesday here. Again, it's going to be another slow week. So with that, I wish you guys happy holidays, and we'll catch you sometime in the near future.